Oh boy. All right. So Sloppy Steve is at it again. This was, I believe this was at the Charlie Kirk Memorial the other day, and he was on Real America's Voice, and, they were talking about the impact of Charlie Kirk. And look, Steve Bannon saying this is just a further indication of how much the right has degraded over the years and gotten more and more and more extreme. And now we're at the point where, like, mainstream Republican politicians say some shit that would have had to be on like a fucking 4chan message board with a bunch of Nazis back in like 2015 or 2016. Now they just say this shit openly and nobody bats an eyelash. So here, let's take a look.
I think it's important too to talk about Erica's role in Charlie's transformation.
Yes.
He was such an advocate of marriage. All of Turning Point are advocates of marriage and young marriage and lots of children and all the things. And these are throwback ideas, Steve. These are not popular on college campuses right now.
Okay, first of all. Yes, it's true that marriage rates have like gone down, but the reasons they've gone down is because of like socioeconomics. That's why the marriage rates have gone down, right? People don't have money, they're overworked, they're trying to get enough education to like make a decent life and all that stuff. They got a lot of debt. People see like, okay, well, the economy sucks and the environment's cooked and you got all these horrible things. And so it's like people want to get married, but they just can't. They don't have the wealth that they need, right? But they make it seem like, oh, this is just, it's a generational thing, and they've decided marriage is bad. We're against marriage. That's not what it is. That's just not true.
Right?
Well, I actually think they are popular, but it's not the way those kids look from kindergarten all the way up. They are essentially, a third of the teachers are terrorists that are trying to form them. If you look at the radical SEL, you look at all this radical, the way they're formed.
A third of the teachers are terrorists. What? What? All right, I'm going to let you finish, dog, before I jump in.
I think underneath, though, and that's why Charlie brought such a big audience, because a big part of Turning Point, people should realize when Charlie was going, he's not just talking about practical MAGA politics or Republican politics or tax cuts. It was Turning Point family. It was Turning Point faith. I happen to think in his explosive growth and his message getting out is that underneath that, those people are searching, right? Particularly young men who have been told you're bad, you're everything evil, you've got to change, we have to change you, we have to give you drugs. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what they're doing in schools. All the boys in the class, raise your hand. You're all really bad, and we need to give you drugs. Here's how much that's happened. Here's how many times that's happened in the history of the United States. Zero, donut, zilch, nada, not at all, not once has that happened. Jesus fucking Christ, Sloppy Steve. That really is, he's living up to the name here. Because not only is he physically sloppy, he's also mentally sloppy.
About the family, and about marrying early, and about having lots of kids, right? Mm-hmm. And about being a good dad. I think that is right below the surface. That's why his message, remember, if you look at even Utah, a lot of those young guys are coming, they're kind of hanging in the back.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They want to see what this is about. What is this Charlie Kirk guy? What is he talking about? But then you see him leaning in, about a third of the way through when he starts talking.
Like, I love the idea that they think, like, the public schools and liberals and leftists, they're flat out anti-family. It's like, what does that even mean? Do you think in public schools they're teaching kids like, well, definitely don't start a family. We're against that. That's no good. Be single. That doesn't fucking happen. Look, here's what he means. When he says, about a third of the teachers are terrorists, here's what he means. A third of the teachers teach basic liberal values to kids as if that's the right way to live. In other words, hey, you should treat people equally. You should care about justice. You should be an egalitarian. You should be humble and honorable and virtuous. This is what the public schools try to teach. Basic liberal values. Treat others as you would like to be treated, right? And the fact of the matter is, this is actually what the right hates. This is what they despise. They don't believe in egalitarianism. They don't believe in equality. They don't believe in justice. They don't believe in fairness, kindness, altruism, empathy. They believe in the right-wing worldview, this like sort of dog-eat-dog world. This like vicious world out there where nobody cares about you and you only got to be out for yourself and fuck everybody else, and there's a hierarchy and the hierarchy should stay that way because it's like that for a reason, and the minorities are below and the poor people are below, and like this is how they think. And so that's where you get a statement like teachers are terrorists. It's because he views standard public school teachers all across this country who do the hard work and raise the kids and teach the kids and don't even get compensated that much for it. He looks at them and the fact that they're not all card-carrying MAGA members with their fucking pom-poms going, yay, Donald Trump! He looks at that and goes, oh, well, you're the enemy because you don't act like I want you to act. That's what that means. And he thinks like, oh, you know, Charlie Kirk would have been the savior, effectively. Like what he was teaching was, you know, let's call it what it is. And this is the other thing that's so annoying about the revisionist history, now that Charlie's gone, is they make it seem like he was this, he was this person that was interested in open debate and dialogue and changing people's minds. It's like, no, he was a propagandist. He was the youth wing of propaganda for the Trump regime. That's what he was literally connected to the regime. He had phone calls with Trump. He was in the Oval Office. He took fucking marching orders, right? Like, this is who he was. The idea that he was just having honest discourse. Like, no, he wasn't. He wasn't fucking doing that. He was creating propaganda clips to go viral on TikTok to dunk on liberals and leftists and go, ha, look how fucking stupid they are, bro. Like, that's what he was doing. So anyway, but this is what the right is now. This is what everybody needs to understand. This is what the right is now. Sloppy Steve going out here and saying teachers are terrorists. This is how they think. This is what they believe. I don't know about you guys, but from my perspective, I think teachers are fucking heroes. I think every teacher in this country deserves a fucking raise. Because they got to deal with a whole bunch of fucking kids. Some of them probably act a fool all the fucking time, right? You got to raise the kids. You got to be patient. You got to teach them basic values. You got to humanize them, right? And Sloppy Steve looks at that and goes, nah, fuck them. They're terrorists because they're not like massively pro-MAGA, cheerleading for MAGA 24/7. And we hate that. We hate that you raise kids with basic liberal humanitarian values. And yeah, they're the solution. They're not the problem. Sloppy Steve and him and the MAGA media ghouls, you're the fucking problem. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.